Hello again, this is Alex Chafee, and today I'll be talking to you about my experience at Qumran as well as Genesis Land. So at Qumran, a Bedouin was walking along and threw a rock into a cave and accidentally broke a clay jar. Within these jars he found several scrolls, and he took them to be appraised, at which point the person who was appraising the items told him to return these to the synagogue from which he stole them. Eventually the scrolls were taken to, I think it was Hebrew University, and deciphered by one of the professors there. After this, the race was on between both Bedouins and archaeologists to find more scrolls in these caves. A total of 11 caves were found to have scrolls, and we went to cave number 4. Now, as you can see in the pictures of the cave right now, the cave is inaccessible to the public for, well, obvious reasons, because you can't really get down there. What's really interesting, though, is that this cave is right next to an archaeological site where I think the Essene community probably resided. Regardless of whether or not it was the Essenes or another Qumran community, it is apparent that its nearness to the cave that had the Dead Sea Scrolls could suggest that the scrolls were written by a member of this community. Now, due to it being a desert environment, it was incredibly hot and we had to drink a lot of water. But also because it was a desert environment, the scrolls that were found in these caves were kept for so long in such good condition. It was interesting to see the various ancient structures from the community that once resided here, but what was really interesting was the graves that we saw. Now these pictures don't really do it justice, but just beyond where this was the grave of their supposed leader. And now it's interesting to note that the graves of the followers kind of not really surrounded the grave of the leader, but were very close to it, because the grave of their leader was on a different mountain. After this, we went back into the Judean desert, farther from the Dead Sea, to a place called Genesis Land. From the top of Genesis Land, we took a camel ride down to a place called Abraham's Tent. We were greeted very warmly by Abraham, and had a very delicious lunch. The experience was quite something, because we were all sitting around a table on the ground and having very freshly made food, and it was quite delicious. The view from here was absolutely spectacular. After lunch, the other half of us who didn't take the camel ride down took a camel ride going back up, which was pretty terrifying because we were climbing back up on the mountain slope, about a 50-degree drop down below. So my camel was a little bit of a rebel because it didn't want to get up when the others got up, and it wanted to get ahead of the others when we were walking. At the end of the day, we went back to Gedi, and some of us went to Gedi Nature Reserve, where there was a waterfall and people went in to the water. It was quite the hike up, and we encountered a lot of other groups when we were there. But aside from all the waterfalls and fun in the water and that kind of stuff, we came to a place that was absolutely gorgeous, where some people allege was where David cut off the little corner of Saul's cloak. That brings me to the end of today's video. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Bye.